It looks like the Rare Breed Trigger Company is fighting back. Yeah, so this whole thing about the Rare Breed Trigger Company and their FRT trigger, the ATF has reimagined definitions as it's so keen in doing. And so the ATF decided that the FRT triggers, the forced reset trigger, is in fact a machine gun all by itself. And now I covered that before, and the video will be up here. You can go ahead and check that out, and I'll also include the actual definition of the trigger in question.
The FRT-15's hammer, when cocked by the BCG, forces the trigger forward to the reset, along with the shooter's finger. A locking mechanism stops the trigger from being pressed again. The movement of the BCG forces the trigger to reset, but it does not cause the trigger to engage or to perform multiple actions per one trigger pull. Between the hammer and the locking mechanism, the shooter cannot simply hold the trigger all the way back. If they do, it prevents the forced reset and simply fires one round per trigger pull. Even though the FRT-15 is capable of rapid fire, it is still a semi-automatic trigger. And here's the definition of a semi-automatic trigger. Look familiar?
And y'all can decide for yourself if that trigger by itself is a machine gun, or even if it is put inside of a lower, is it now a machine gun? Or if it is a fully functioning firearm with that trigger in the firearm, is it a machine gun? And you'll see by definition, it's not. You can again make your own decision on that based on how it functions and the definition. But given recent court turmoil and recent court decisions on bump stocks, higher court decisions on pistol braces, and when it comes to other things that are directly in line with it, like binary triggers, to which the ATF again says is okay in some ways, and now they're kind of turning their back on themselves on that decision that they've made as well. But this video isn't about all of that and the plethora of things that the ATF has made clear in the past that they're 100% okay with, and then now they're flip-flopping and changing their mind. But let's continue on with the subject at hand, these forced reset triggers. And the designer of such, now working with the National Association for Gun Rights and also Texas Gun Rights. And so they're bringing it to the ATF here now with these new legal challenges. And so this legal challenge, or this lawsuit that Lawrence DeMonico is putting forth with the help of his new legal team, is within the same bounds and legal standing, in my opinion, as such things as the bump stock and the pistol brace. And within the email that they sent out, they sent a video as well, and I'll leave that in the description, and y'all can check that out too. He's calling the 2A community to take action. And so guys, this is now our time to do something. If you're anything like me, you're in circles of people where friends and family are saying this is a gross, tyrannical misuse of whatever power the ATF has and a direct overreach on what they are allowed and supposed to do. And again, if you're anything like me, you want to take action. You may be in those circles and say, man, if there was something I could do to stop this nonsense and preserve my Second Amendment right to bear arms and exercise that right. Well, here it is. That time is now, and I'll leave the link in the description as well for this. There is an opportunity in that link to help fund this legal battle, because consequently enough, it takes a lot of money to fight against government, and it may take a lot of time as well, which is a shame, because if government wants something done, it usually would happen within a few weeks, sometimes even overnight. But if an injunction happens on our part to exercise our Second Amendment God-given rights, that seems to just be the beginning of things. And then we have to wonder if our rights are going to be taken away in the future, in the near future. And so here's a way to kind of put an end to this stuff. And if you've been watching, if your eyes have been open, things have been happening within the 2A community. The higher courts are recognizing, hey, maybe we can't take away their God-given rights. And the more this is recognized, and the more that injunctions and these types of things happen, more people, especially higher up government, high courts, those things, those entities, those people, will hopefully one day think it thinkable that they could challenge our rights in these ways daily. And again, if you've been watching, there was injunctive relief granted for the pistol brace case for those who were members of a certain group who did receive that injunction or were granted that injunction. And so this seems like it would be very similar to that in that respect. And so let's give it back to them. Let's hand it back to them. And the way to be a part of this case now is to follow the link down here in the description. So you can make a donation and end the tyranny and end the ATF's trigger ban for forced reset triggers. Now, if you follow that link, you can enter in your own amount, it looks like. The most popular donation size is $35. And I'm not sponsored by Rare Breed Triggers or anything, but I am an advocate for the double tap, if you know what I mean. Any way to send more lead down range, more accurately and more safely, is something that I'm going to support. So there's that end of it. But the other end of things is that we have got to stop this. We have got to, as the people of America, not let this type of thing happen anymore. It's got to end. And this is just one way to make your voice heard. And so if you made it to the end of this video, hey, thank you very much. That really, really helps this kind of up and coming channel. If you're into survival, if you're into campcraft, guns, the Greater Idaho movement, foraging in general, or you just really like to watch adventure videos where a guy like me goes out and filters water with his sock or something and eats something weird, then subscribe to this channel, because that's exactly what you're going to get. All right, y'all. Do what's right and stay safe.